Hello and happy Saturday. If you have watched my Lingerie and Lattes first launch yesterday, as you may know, I have forgotten to do a card pull, so I decided to pull out two of my decks today, do some card pulls for a Saturday, and also share a little bit about my journey because I keep myself very private in terms of my personal life and my experience in relationships and intimacy. And yes, it's important for me to be vulnerable with my audience as well because I want to serve you. This is why I'm here. Really, nothing motivates me and lights me up other than wanting to share the truth around relationships, around love, intimacy, romance, monogamy. I think everything has been so freaking distorted that everyone is just walking around lost, unhappy, and quite frankly, they don't seem to really know themselves. They don't seem to really understand that they're in a relationship with another human. And a lot of the times that leaves people feeling very neglected in their relationships. So, what I observe a lot in the world is whether somebody is in a relationship or is out of one, they're just as lonely. So, frankly, nothing is going to change my view because I've done so much of this internal work and I know where my teachings stem from. So, if you're ready, please join me. Do subscribe if you want more of this content. I'll be hosting lingeries and lattes weekly at Fridays at 11:30 Eastern. So, we would love to have you there. All right, let's get the first card pulled out, which is going to be a mantra you can focus on whether over this weekend or even possibly this week. I don't know how Scorpio season has been going for you all, but it has been going so freaking kicking my booty. So I really think that the planetary shifts happening right now are way more intense than last year. I do think that we've come to something of like a peak, really. All right, so now we have the self-initiation deck that one of my amazing ex-clients gifted to me. So thank you, Holly. And this is the beautiful card. So we're going to just take one pull and see what is the affirmation for the energy present of this weekend. And if we can call in the spirit of Halloween and request the new year, the newness, freshness to speak to us today, to speak to my soul and our audience's souls today. I love this. I don't know if it's coming out blurry, but it says, I have arrived. So there's usually a little bit more going on the actual cards themselves, but this one is very clean, straight to the point. I have arrived. So let's keep that in mind as we go through this. Okay. The next deck that I have is Amor et Psyche. Such a cool deck that I found. All right. So as we go through this talk together today, it's going to be strictly around my personal life, my personal experiences. As I mentioned, lingerie and lattes is going to be a little bit more informal. If you heard the unconditional love versus steadfast love talk that I hosted yesterday, you can kind of get a sense of how I will be posting those talks. And then we have Vulcan Ability Classroom, which if you don't know, then that is where I share a little bit more information-based, research-based, interesting finds that I go through and I uncover around relationships, love, and pretty much everything they don't want us to know on how to create love. All right, so second deck, let's feel. Okay. Balance and unity. So we have balance and unity. I know there's such a glare. I apologize for that. And there's I have arrived. So these cards are absolutely wonderful. Let me see if I can dive in a little bit more to the balance and unity because it has a little book with it. There is me, there is you, and suddenly us. Seeing love, the love story, she said yes. He offered her a pomegranate, but it was so much more, for this was a magical fruit, filled with 1,000 ruby seeds of kind words and good deeds. Ever mindful of the way that energy would envelop and nourish every fiber of her being, he took a chance and offered her that gift. In her soul, she knew it to be true, and she accepted his love, and it grew. Balance was achieved, and all because she had said yes. So it's called Making Love in this series, but it's an action you can take. Give or receive a loving gift with the pure intention of bringing harmony to your life. This can be a gift to another individual, a gift to your life. This can be, oh yes, a gift to another individual, a gift to the universe, or a gift to yourself. Notice how this reciprocity establishes balance in your mind and in your life. So let's just pause for a moment, because balance in the mind is what causes balance in the life. So if we want to, one, focus on uniting the left hemisphere with the right hemisphere of the brain, and also give love towards the universe, towards yourself, if another person isn't giving that one back to you as much as you want to, that would be a good place to start. Because as soon as you give love to the self, or to universe, mama earth, whatever, you immediately will receive it back tenfold. Being love. So this is a meditation we could do with this card. Visualize the universe bringing you love. Now accept that gift with loving and receptive arms. Proclaiming love. This is an affirmation associated with the card. I am receptive to balance and love in my life. I say yes. Alrighty. So with that card pull out of the way, and with more coming in the lingeries and lattes on Fridays, I would love to share a little bit about Chiron, where it is in my chart, what that is if you don't know, and why I'm here doing this work. So my Chiron, and Chiron is not a planet, it's not a star, it's actually a location between two points in the sky. And Chiron is a representation, you know, the myth story. It's a representation of something that you have a personal lifelong struggle with. And not struggle, but really like a challenge to overcome. This is like your cross to bear in this lifetime. But it comes as this natural, easy gift to help others with this particular challenge. So my Chiron is in Libra. And if you are not familiar with the zodiac, Libra is the seventh sign, I believe. And yes, because it's associated with the seventh house. So it comes after Virgo and right before Scorpio. So Libra in Chiron to me really represents a wounding around relationships, codependency, seeing the beauty of life in its substance, I would say. So I teach a lot about love, and I fully believe in our capacity to be loved for our entire lifetime by one person. I think that's a concept that is inborn, really, for humans. And there's all of these, you know, sick, fake science data that comes out and says polygamy is so natural. It doesn't ever happen in humans and mammals. And it's so, our entire society has just like been totally brainwashed into believing that. And really, if I've looked up any sort of hashtag and just put in monogamy, about, not statistically accurate probably, but from my visual experience, it's been around 90% negative, and I would even push it further, 95% of negative content. I might find one post that's positive about monogamy, in around 20 that disses it, trashes monogamy, shoves it down, you know, debunks it. It's really interesting, because if you take a subject and notice how intensely charged it is from one side, I'm always the person that's like, well, what's on the other side? Why are the loudest voices screaming one thing? Can I hear the quieter voices, right? So I really bought into this whole idea of how the modern world is supposed to work, of what relationships are supposed to be, which is transient, non-committal, doesn't matter if you're married or not, or what that even means. You could be married for 20 minutes and that's a legitimate marriage. It was true love and all these things. So I really bought into all of that. I went from a younger age. I swore off relationships. I said I don't want to have a boyfriend until I know that this is the person I want to marry. Later on in life, around even like maybe between a 14 to maybe around 20 even, I would think like, well, do I even want marriage? I don't even want that. It seems like a burden. It's almost a guarantee that I'm going to be divorced. Why would I ever put up with somebody's BS all the time? I can't do that. I value myself too much. I respect myself too much to be married to somebody. I would really have all these ingrained beliefs in myself. And nobody could change my thoughts. I mean, if they tried, I swear I would probably come at them with with an axe because I was so set in my ways. And this is a very young age, a very impressionable age. I'm talking about 14 to maybe 18, 20. So naturally, my mind is still developing. Where am I getting these ideas from? That's always the first question we have to ask ourselves. But I really bought into this whole idea of the ability to explore myself and who I am in a relationship without tying myself down into a relationship. Let that sink in. So that's where we are right now. Maybe if you want to go back and just re-listen to that if you're watching this on YouTube and you can rewind. So that's, I think, where most of our society is. It's asking ourselves, what does that mean to think that I can engage in a culture that has pretty much no meaning around two people committing to each other for a longer amount of time, and I can still figure out who I am. And I would have this mentality that I could separate my emotions away from my from like hookup culture, right? And I totally bought into that mentality. I swear. I mean, I would think that marriage is doomed for life. I would think that there's no reason for me to ever get married, especially if I can make my own money, if I can just focus on building my own empire, which is a total Babylonian money magic mindset. If you don't know what that is, go check out Angel Quintana and look into Babylonian money magic because it is freaking everywhere. So people have replaced this idea of real connection with humans and what it means to be committed to someone, building a family, stability, the whole 9 yards, with the idea that you can supplement your life with casual encounters and just a lot of money, because that's what's going to really make you thrive in this world. So I bought into this idea. I had pretty much no pleasure ever in my life from any man I've been with. I derived no real intimate connection with them on any sort of level, spiritual, emotional, physical. Just about 3 years ago, I was entirely closed off to any sort of relationships. And then around that time, around the end, like December of 2019, I went to work with this Akashic healer, and she had rewritten my story. And the story that my soul had ingrained in this lifetime is that we've never experienced what love is. So naturally, my Chiron, which I started talking about in the earlier section of this video, is in Libra. So Libra is around relationships, codependency specifically, seeing things for their reality and their beauty. And having substance, right? Like if you don't want codependency, you both have to have this inherent independent spirit, but you still can be loyal towards each other. So I've become fascinated with this idea. And after really a girlfriend that shifted my understanding, my perspective of the world and of relationships and of the entire history, really, of what like how we understand what it means to have sex and like to be intimate and be in relationships, it really shifted when she had me look into certain people, into certain subjects, and look into their biographies and understand, who were they and why have we just adopted these ideas without questioning the data. So that started about a few years ago. And then once I actually cracked myself open to my first relationship, I got burned. I mean, so badly. I'm still actively recovering, I would say. I am not over it by any means. And the thing that I can feel most present for me that I want to really share with my people here who are learning from me. And frankly, the way that some people view me and how much people admire me, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve that. And it's difficult because I'm able to help people so well in their relationships and in their romantic settings, but it's not as easy for me. And you know what? I'm really learning that as much as I'm able to serve others and have others experience happiness, whether I achieve that in this lifetime or not, at least I can be helpful to others and their experience in this world, because I see so many couples that are so wonderful for each other and are willing to do the work, but they don't know where to turn to. And that's why I really founded Vulcan Ability, because I'm one of these people. All I wanted to learn about was how to please a man, how to be with a man, how to be the best girlfriend I could ever fucking be for anybody. And I had nowhere really to turn to. I mean, I read Cosmos here and there because I've had older sisters and they were amazing enough to share their old copies with me. Probably I was a little young for that. But that would just be, again, surface level. It's like 3D tips and advice for your relationship. And I wanted something deeper. Frankly, I'm not a religious person at all. I think all of religions have a commonality, of course, and there's a lesson in all of them. So I'd rather just look from that perspective than to tie myself down to a single philosophy, but which would have to ignore the others or deny the others. But I wanted something more spiritual based. I wanted something more ethereal. I knew that there was a connection with another soul. And that doesn't mean it just stops in this world. It doesn't just end. I don't think that people get into relationships in single lifetimes. Can you? Yes. Do you always meet your soulmate in this world, in this lifetime? No, I don't think you do. Sometimes they're still in spirit form. Sometimes you don't come into this earth together. And even if you do, it's up to both of these people individually to decide whether they want to conquer their mission or not. So, truthfully, as long as you're on your path, you will land in that parallel universe that puts you on the path of true love. But you can't wait for the universe to take a step first. It's you. You have to take a step first. So that's where all of this work comes in from. And I hope I've been able to give a little bit more background on why I'm so passionate about this and just be a little real, because that's how I feel right now. I don't feel like I want to act as if there's anything happening behind the scenes that isn't. My life has been a struggle with men, and a lot of the times I would just get disgusting comments and disgusting attention from people. One, way too old to be interested in me. Two, creepy. Three, very low self-esteem. And every time I encounter these situations, I used to, not so much anymore now that I've done the work for the past like 4 or 5 years on myself. But I used to attract a lot of these people. And all I can say is no one can meet you further than you've met yourself. So that's why this work is so important. And if you don't prioritize love, if you don't prioritize satisfaction of the soul, I can promise you're going to be living one miserable life. So if you're interested in having the most fantastic love life of your imagination, please do subscribe and listen to more of my content, because that's what I'm here to do. And I'm here to serve you. So anything that you would want for me to talk about, please do also feel free to share that. And I'm happy to take that feedback in. I will be publishing very soon a workbook. So anyone who desires to kind of dive into this work from a journaling perspective and self-reflection without any sort of additional support at this time, or really just kind of dip their toes slightly into it, that would be a perfect place for you to begin. It would be a PDF with a little bit of an introduction video, because I love to just connect with people. And it would be $12. So hope you find it on my website. Please let me know how you are experiencing my content on this channel, and I wish you all a magical day.